Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of the Introduction to Dividing Fractions. Where we left off was I asked you to see if you could see the pattern when dividing by a fraction. And before I ask you to answer that question, I'm going to give you one more tip here. I just went ahead and showed you the process. So 2 divided by 1/5 is the same as 2 times 5 to 1. And 3 divided by 1/3 is the same as 3 times 3 to 1. So I know by now you've probably seen the pattern. The pattern is dividing by a fraction is really the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the divisor. Dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the divisor. In math, you really want to always look for patterns. Patterns help you understand, not just remember. Now, one quick note here. If you haven't heard it already, you're probably going to hear the term KCF, or keep, change, flip, when it comes to dividing fractions. So, for example, 6 divided by 3/4, someone may say, keep, change, flip, keep the 6, change division to multiplication, and flip the 3/4. Now, while that works and it's easy to remember, what they're really saying is multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. And if you hear this and someone tells you this, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that it's not quite mathematically correct to say that. Don't tell your teacher that. Just understand that what you're doing is division of a fraction is actually multiplying by the reciprocal. That's why we spent so much time on reciprocal in the unit on math. So that's the relationship between dividing by a fraction and reciprocal. Let's go ahead and apply that. So dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the divisor. So now we have 10 divided by 1/10. We're just going to multiply by the reciprocal of 1/10, and we get 100. Number 2, 7 divided by 1/4. How many groups of 1/4 are in 7? We simply multiply by the reciprocal of our divisor, and we get 28. 12 divided by 3/4. How many groups of 3/4 are there in 12? We want to multiply by the reciprocal of our divisor. Our divisor is 3/4. The reciprocal is 4/3. We simplify before we multiply. We get 16. And number 4, how many equal groups of 3/5 are in 15? We multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. And that's why it's important to know divisor, dividend. The answer is the quotient. All right, just a little vocabulary here for you. And the last problem is a word problem. And again, all this what's still true is division, we're separating to equal groups. So whenever we have to mix up multiplication and division, multiplication is combining, division is separating. And if you can figure out whether you're combining or separating, then you know if you're multiplying or dividing. All right, number 5. Terrence and his sister have a 20-ounce bottle of orange juice. They want to share the juice equally. Keyword here, equally, with themselves and 8 friends. If each glass is 3/5 ounces, how many glasses of orange juice will each person get? So I'm circling my important information, underlining my question. So I'm going to draw a little picture here. Not the best drawer here. So I have 24 ounces of juice, but I want to separate them into 3/5 ounce cups or glasses, and I wonder how much can each person get. Okay, so obviously I'm separating into equal groups of 3/5. So 24 separated into groups of 3/5 is dividing 24 by 3/5. I multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. I simplify before I multiply if I can. That leaves me 40 glasses of 3/4 ounces, which was not the question. So B is not correct. The question was, how many glasses per person? Well, how many people are there? If you said 8, you're not quite right. There are 10 because it says Terrence and his sister with the 8 friends. That's 10 people. So I take 40, divide by 10, and I get everybody gets 4 glasses of juice. All right. So again, let's make sure we use the right terminology. We need to know dividend, divisor, quotient. Dividing by a fraction is multiplying by the reciprocal of the divisor. All right, we'll practice a little bit in the next video. Talk to you soon.